up, everyone? Welcome back to my channel. Just want to point out how funny it is that I made a video talking about starting back in June, and I'm finally now in January, kind of following up on that. So I find that kind of ironic. But anyway, today I want to talk to you guys about more about my ideas for this movie that I want to film, or whatever it ends up being that I want to film in Japan, and more about how I plan to even execute some of that stuff. So, as you all know, I went to Japan, and specifically Tokyo, back in 2016, and I was there for about 6 months, and I experienced a lot of things working at kind of under the table at a bar, and experiencing all of the life that's there, and then meeting a lot of film crew and a lot of artists doing events at the bar. So in that whole experience, I could kind of just make a whole idea for a night out as a character like me, who is, one, black in Japan, and two, can speak the language clearly. So I wanted to, like, at least maybe even a TV show with episodes of where instances of me meeting people and maybe tricking them by speaking English first and then later hearing my Japanese, or maybe have a movie with an arc that spans a few years and my character in the beginning doesn't speak English or doesn't speak any Japanese and has a hard time, and then like 3 years later or 2 years later he's like deep in the Tokyo scene, meeting, like, having all these people and speaking the language like he knows it, like he's been there all his life. So I wanted to kind of like capture that through, my character, which is something that they clung to a lot while I was there, just the fact that I could speak the language so well. So my plan is, I have this stabilizer called the Movi Cinema Robot, and I've always wanted a stabilizer for a camera, not necessarily for a phone, but I have mine is for the phone, that will give you that extremely smooth cinema quality. I should probably go out and take some shots to show you while I'm talking about it. Extremely smooth cinema quality, like rolls, like people would usually use a camera on a track in films to do these really slow moving shots, or some slow moving zooms, or like follow shots. It will look very professional, even though I'm using my iPhone. Like, even right now, the quality on this camera is actually pretty good, and it's the forward facing camera for the iPhone 8, not even the newest iPhone. So I know the capabilities after getting like paid for apps of doing cinema quality things, and then I'll add some lenses, as well as having that all the high end stuff, just to make this look as good as it can be. The purpose of making this isn't necessarily to like win an award or to impress anyone specifically. I really want to do what I always do, is just take a lot of really good footage and splice it together with some nice music, and then also have a storyline to tie everything together. That's the thing that I want to add into what I've never done before, which is having an actual storyline or a plot that goes from the beginning to the end. And me being in film school, I'm learning a lot about what's important in a story, and having these moments for characters to develop. And I'm just thinking a lot about that. And another thing that influenced me a lot was this movie that I saw a long time ago called Enter the Void. Enter the Void right here. I'm trying to do this because I'm trying to get used to the YouTube thing, Enter the Void by, I forget the guy's name. But either way, he shot this movie in Tokyo, and it was the most Tokyo movie I'd seen in a long time, besides Lost in Translation. And it really expresses the brightness and the colorfulness of the city and the neon lights. And it's a pretty deep movie beyond that. But I can see how it's kind of low budget, and they didn't need the best cameras to necessarily make this movie, because a lot of it was just following shots for the character to interact with people. A lot of them were one takes. And I personally want to do a really good example of a really good one take. And even if the whole entire movie was the one take, that would be pretty cool. So using that one take idea, I want to use this specific area called Godzilla Road, which you can find if you type it in on Google Maps. Godzilla Road is where Toho Cinemas is, and it has Godzilla sitting on top of Toho Cinemas, and that whole road is just lit up. And that road leads to an even bigger, more busy road in Shinjuku. I can't remember the name of the road. It's pretty bad. I can't remember the name of it, but that's the road that you see at the beginning of Lost in Translation with the wall of city lights. I want to do a few different things with that backdrop. I want to maybe use it for a scene, use it for a music video, use it for a short, anything. Like I want to use that whole aesthetic to back my creative, whatever I do creatively while I'm in Japan. And there's other spots too. There's Golden Guy, which has this really cool, really narrow streets with these bars, and every bar has their own lit up sign. So it makes a really cool visual aesthetic. I can probably show you a picture of it. But I want to do what I do best and actually edit it. And I have the equipment to do that now. Before, when I was in Japan, I had my old laptop. I'm using a dated Sony Vegas program for editing. But on top of all that, I personally didn't record enough, or I didn't have any plan going into what I was going to record, and ultimately just recorded some things and never actually developed it into a film or developed it into any kind of a documentary or anything like that. All it took was for me to put those little few shots I had together and voice over. And the voiceover part is the part that I need to really dig into, because then, if anything, at the least, I can make a little short documentary blog type film just to, say that I made a film, But it'll be like, as good as I can make it. But ultimately, I want that to give me steps forward into getting into more film industry stuff. Obviously, I know some actors that are there. I know some producers. And I always end up running into people while I'm there. Either way, I just know that just this serendipitous thing happens every time I'm in Japan. So I'm not betting on that, but I just do want to make this film and put all of my effort into it just to, one, have the experience of actually going into like a full-on, not full-on, but like I'm really trying to make a film from beginning to end, doing sound, colorizing, audio, of course, music, just having everything built out, having actors with wardrobe and makeup, stuff like that, and using, scenery from Japan to make the film. That's just something that I feel like I can make a really good example of what I'll be able to do in the future to show my instructors, maybe show a future director that I may come across while I'm in class, because apparently you do get to interact with some professional people while you're attending Full Sail University. But I'm soon going to have my own professional camera through the school, and I'm going to learn how to use it. But even before then, I want to get the experience of trying to make something on my own without the proper training. But while I'm training, because I'll be making it while I'm still in school. So that's just a bit more about the movie that I'm trying to make in Japan, in Tokyo. If you guys like this video and want to see more, I have a lot more stuff to talk about. Just subscribe to the channel, hang out, check out whatever videos come out, and I'm going to try and have a nice regular output of videos in the future. So thanks for watching. Like and subscribe if you like the video, and I'll see you next time.